Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching, we are back with another episode of MY3. Today, this is a very special episode. We haven't done this before. It's called MY3 in Store. And we are bringing you live on direct straight from Lewisham, Crepe Select. And we have got Lawrence here today, and he's going to show us his store in Lewisham. He's going to talk us through everything that he's got in store. He's going to show you what is ready and waiting for you online and when you get back on April the 12th. And we can't wait for that day. And yeah, we're excited. And then after that, he's going to show us his MY3, hopefully the top MY3 that's in the store. So, Lawrence, thanks for coming on the show. Over to you. Tell the viewers all about yourself and let's go.
Thanks for the intro. Very good. So I'll start it off. I don't know if you should be able to see the store just there. But
yeah,
we're in Lewisham Shopping Centre. I'm outside Sainsbury's right now, which is actually where that was my first job when I just left school and went to college. I actually worked in there. I worked in there for 4 years and never thought I'd end up with a shop nearly next door. So the shop positions, a lot of people think I was crazy. A lot of head office people at certain brands are surprised I've survived. So I've been here 4.5 years now. I'm in between JD, Foot Locker, and that's Foot Asylum. Obviously, Everyone comes in and says, "Oh, well, how do you manage to sell anything like by your competitors?" Yeah. And obviously, I'm still strong-willed that they're not my competitors. My competitors are online. There's a couple in central London. I won't mention them, but these guys, they're the supermarkets for swag. I'm definitely not a supermarket.
No, you've got the real McCoy. You've got the real stuff. That's right. You got the stuff that the real collectors want.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, this is the store. This is currently the situation with click and collect. I've got my little sign there in case anyone wants to get me in trouble. So the centre of sort of supported it.
Sorry, look at the hoodie in the window you've got.
Oh yes, we're the same as you, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got the shoes on though? Have you got the shoes?
I haven't got the shoes on. I'm at home. I'm at home, so I've got no shoes on today at the moment.
Just so you know as well, this is Steve Sauce. Yeah. So he's constantly trying to outdress his mate. This is Dave Drip.
Dave Drip, I love it.
And they have a weekly to fortnightly competition on who's dressed the best. Generally, Dave wins because I dress him more how I would dress.
Nice.
So this is the store. Obviously, this is my pride and joy. This is my Jordan retro wall.
Love that. Look at that.
There's plenty on there. There's so many available now. We've got a bit of overspill, but generally we try and keep the wall just retros. We don't put mids on the wall because everyone should know mids are not retros.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we've got some good ones. These bad boys are not out yet. These are not even out
yet.
So
This is
nice. Yeah, I managed to get an early pair. I've only got one pair. But yeah, they're going to...
like on them? Oh, what's happened?
Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. We're good. We're good. Yep, you're back.
Battery warning. Quality's amazing. Obviously, the current price is ridiculous because they're pre-release. So I think they're going to be tough to get retail, but I think resale won't be too mental straight away.
Nice.
So we've got this is our Yeezy display. It's actually not that tidy, so I apologise. It's quite early.
That's all right. Don't worry. We're just showing us what you got. Now, quick question about the Yeezy display. Has that changed over the years? Like 3-4 years ago when you first opened up, did you have a bigger Yeezy display?
No. So when I opened Lewisham, I'd already had a store in Croydon before where the Nike Yeezy had came out. I think I had one pair that did sell. Then the Adidas Yeezy was sort of launched towards the end of me being at that store. Yeah. And I think I had a couple of Pirate Blacks, a couple of the 750s, but I'd never managed to sell a pair. So they stayed with me for my transition to my new store. But when I came here, the 350 sort of became a little bit more wanted. And then, yeah, I mean, it's always been a smaller display.
Okay.
But it has been a success.
Yeah, of course. It's always going to be a success, I think, of 350 these days.
Yeah, I mean, they have their ups and downs, and even now, they're definitely easier to get. There's loads more of them. There's very similar colours, but they still have a place. It's still probably one of the most comfortable shoes.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
It obviously maybe the shape. I'm just going to put you in my charger.
Yeah,
the shape of the shoe is probably not as in demand now, and the 700 I think is a better shape for the current trends.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of comfort and that people think that they're limited, it's still going to have a place in the store. I'm actually wearing a pair today, which wasn't on purpose.
They're very comfortable, I've got to say. I do agree. I own quite a few myself, and they are I throw them on a pair of 350s the whole time. They're a go-to. They are very comfortable. Yeah, your head's cutting off a little bit, so let's get you back into position. Yeah, that's perfect. Just before we go into my 3, because maybe we'll have a little walk around afterwards.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, because I stopped prematurely.
Yeah, that's all right. I want to know what the bike's all about. I love it that you've got a bike in store.
So this was my first. I'm sponsored by Bel Air, so this was
wicked.
This was a present maybe about a year ago, which I wear a lot of black and pink. Anyone who follows my story, like hot pink is regularly in the wardrobe. When I saw the colour of the bike, I was convinced this would be my new car. I then found out from trying to use it, it's more for show than for the road.
Okay.
This one actually exploded on me. So it's now got just position in the store. You can ride around the store, but you can't ride home from work. So my battery went again, sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll edit it all out. That's what it's all about.
This is the new bad boy.
That looks pretty sick as a bike.
So that is definitely, I'm going to try and use it. And then we're going to try and open this. When we're allowed to reopen, we're going to try and open this. So if you're...
I'll have to come down for the opening of that.
But yeah, big up Bel Air. They sponsored me very early on in my journey. Shout out Barry, who put it together. And they've been a big...
Look at those wheels.
Yeah, that's a bad boy. But they've been a big part of maybe solidifying my brand, that they saw the vision as well and backed it.
I'm with you. Excellent. So come on, let's have a little look around. Apart from the sneakers, which we all know and love, what else are people coming in for?
So basically, part of the real early story, I've always tried to sell UK brands that are unknown.
Nice, I like that.
And I've kept up with it. Some of them have gone on to actually be really successful. So this side of the store is always UK.
Brilliant.
And this side of the store is like designer or like international. So we've got Palm Angels, D Squared, Moncler, Dior.
Yeah, Supreme. So some of the higher end stuff that side.
Yeah. And then this side, Trapstar, Grafter.
Yeah, nice.
Drip.
Love it.
But I mean, it's a big part
stuff.
of why
I like it.
Why it's worked. That's all at a price point, and maybe they know someone who owns it. And then that side, if you've really had a good week,
yeah, exactly.
You get stuck in. And this is all the designer footwear as well, which I've always sold. Dior's, McQueen's, Valentino's, which have slowed down lately, but it's still
I was about to say they were a massive about a year or so ago, weren't they? Everyone wanted them.
Yep. But yeah, that's basically the flavour.
That's great. So it's a full everything. You know, you've got your fresh sneakers and your fresh heat, but then you've got a bit of everything. I like how you've done the English brands, the streetwear, and then you've got the high end stuff. That's it's a nice mix.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of the vision, and I think very early on the UK brands, it did match up in my head. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
it matched up in my head.
Yeah.
I think through time, it's just made so much more sense. If you're spending 400 quid on shoes, you might as well get a t-shirt for 40 quid and a hat for 30 quid rather than,
totally.
Than doing I don't know, like £400 of D squared jeans is a lot harder if the shoes are 400.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you. It's all about, that's how it is with fits, isn't it? You know, it's like you kind of, you people, I remember back in the day growing up, it was very much about the jeans. You know, I had to have those designer jeans, you know, the Machinos, the Armanis, the Versaces, you know, but for me now, like you said, I'd much rather spend the money on the sneakers and the hoodie and then just have a pair of H&M jeans or something. To be honest,
I think that's where pretty much now all outfits start at the feet.
100%.
And everything else can be reworn or added in slightly cheaper than back in the day. Back in the day, your whole outfit would be important.
Yeah.
But shoes would probably last.
Yeah, it's weird. I agree with you. It is true. Yeah. It's funny how things change. So before you were in Lewisham, did you have a stall or anything? Were you always online? Where did it all start, Crepe Select?
So the initial story was I was a manager of a store called Yoke, which was in Croydon, which I ended up sort of taking over due to the Croydon riots. The owner kind of just sort of parted with it and said, look, if you can bring it back up. Sorry.
Don't worry.
Oh, I've locked the screen. I'm having a nightmare with it. Sorry.
It's all right.
So after the riots, I managed to get the store back up and sort of running.
Yeah.
And around the same time, I just kept hearing about trainers that were selling out and people were talking about shoes that I actually owned, but talking about the after sales market. So I just did some research, took my time, and then launched Crepe Select within the other store. And then it just, the snowball was so quick. My phone started ringing all the time. People then started trying to sell me shoes. Oh, God. It won't fall over this time. I'm going to pin it.
That's all right.
My God. There we go.
Now I can just see the cause.
Yeah, well, they're coming up in a minute, so that will stop.
That's cool. I can see you.
Yeah, phone was ringing all the time. Yeah. People were offering to buy shoes that I owned that I hadn't worn yet because they knew I had them. Just thinking, this is madness. Went to America, witnessed Flight Club, Stadium Goods. In my head, I was thinking, surely that doesn't work as a business because there's so many zeros on the end of these shoes. And then when you go, especially in Flight Club, when you go around to where the till is, there's just a massive queue. So around 2011, I just went all in, put all the shoes on the wall. Probably at the beginning, I only had one size of each, and they were all my size, just in case I couldn't sell it. And then just the timing meant I was a little bit before all the new people. I was after all the people that already knew about it, but I was doing it in a new way.
Well, that was it. But that's incredible. Like you said, 2011, that's the days where kind of like, you know, it was like before the Instagram kind of era sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I did have Instagram.
Yeah, but it wasn't what it was today, don't forget.
No,
you know, it was very
didn't convert.
Of course you didn't. That was still just the days of posting your pictures. No one was using it as a business tool back then.
Yeah.
And like you said, like I remember going over to New York or Florida and those places, and you'd see a few of these sneaker shops, and it was like a whole different game. And like the fact that you brought it here was one of the first is amazing. And now look at it today. You walk around bloody Soho, and there's like about 30 consignment shops.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird. Sometimes when I hear about another one, I think, oh man, like a little bit of like not jealousy, but I just think, oh, the pie's smaller.
But
it's massive. I shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. But you should be proud of what you've got. But also, look, obviously, I'm not from your area, hence the reason why I haven't been down. But I can imagine you've got some loyal customers. And I don't know your prices, but I'm guessing your prices are a little bit more reasonable than some of the Soho stuff that I see.
Yeah,
you know, because that's unfortunately aimed at the tourists.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going in there spending that money.
I have to have a pricing structure that makes it sell. A lot of people probably think I'm way too expensive compared to maybe an online only seller.
Yeah.
But I think I've got a returns policy you can try on. A lot of my competitors, they don't even have a returns policy because they're reselling other people's stuff on consignment. I have a little bit of consignment, but generally I own the shoe. So if you make a good offer, if you make a good offer, you might get the shoe.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about it. It's that customer service, isn't it? Where they can come in and see you direct. But that's the problem. People forget, you know, I might be able to get it cheaper online elsewhere, but then they forget all about the shipping fees and all the extra handling fees, which is always hitting until the end.
I mean, my website has obviously had a massive uplift because of COVID.
Of course.
I've got a bit of money in. I've got a new platform that I'm using, but it isn't easy. The online part of business still has a lot of headache attached to it. Store work is what I'm good at. It's what I've always done. You obviously you're limited because people from all over the world can't come to the store.
No, but of course.
I think it's a much more better base of a business. And then when you are online, you know there is a store. So if there's a problem or you have a worry, hopefully because there is a store that I'm always in, it gives customers a trust that if they are in Birmingham or Ipswich or Nottingham, they will buy online. But when they're local or if they're visiting their families in London, they come and say hello. Yeah.
And also the thing is what people don't outside of our community understand is it's not just a case of going online and buying a shoe. You know, it's all more about coming in. First of all, we want to see that shoe in hand. A sneakerhead likes to hold that shoe. They want to look at the shoe. They want to take photos of the shoe. They want to feel that shoe before they purchase it. But then also it's the whole vibe. You know, I'm sure you probably have people hanging around, you know, on a Saturday afternoon outside your store, and there's that community, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I opened, it was more prevalent because there was nothing really happening at the till. So the atmosphere of the store has always been something I'm proud of.
Of course.
But I would say the last year and a half to 2 years, it now converts.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the beginning part of the journey, it was very hard to be profitable with the overheads.
Yeah, I'm with
but
you.
I think as I've really pushed, I'm an advocate against fakes. I'm constantly doing videos when people try and sell me fakes. I try and do a quick video with it.
Yeah, good. I like those sorts of videos.
People sort of do moan about my prices sometimes, but you can't put me under the suspicious bus. Like I'm nowhere near that bus.
Trustworthy, reliable, and legit, and that's what it's all about.
I'm actually going to give them a little shout out. There's a new app I use called Check.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Before I let you talk about them, I watch a lot of the American sneaker YouTubers, you know, all the big names, and they all use it. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, with a lot of these guys over the years, they normally plug stuff, and there's always something suspicious behind it. But go on, the fact that you're talking about it.
I've heard some negatives where people go, "Oh, you can't trust it."
Yeah.
Every shoe that I've checked with them that is real. Every shoe I knew was fake that they might not. They knew was fake.
Fair play.
And it's very quick. It's very cheap. It is something. At the end of the day, if you come to me with your shoe and I tell you it's real, that's all well and good, you know. But with the Check app, I just like that you've got something digital. So you've got almost like a footprint of I've checked the shoe. Yeah. Those guys have got every shoe. I don't have every shoe. I recently bought I bought these recently where everything was right, the receipt trail.
Yeah.
But I'd never had a pair. I only have a friend who had the other colour.
Mm-hmm.
So I did both. I've got 2 sizes. I did both on Check app. They asked for more pictures, which is unusual. Sent all the stuff, and then they came back and said real. I then managed to find someone who actually had a pair, a collector. Compared to that, sometimes some of these shoes, they have imperfections. Imperfections is not fake. There's some of the new Huaraches that are coming out.
It's unfortunately the quality control from Nike today. We're used to it.
Some of the Air Forces we get, the quality is a shambles, but it's not fake. But check that out. I really recommend it, even if you use it as not a definitive answer, but it's something to help you on your journey.
A backup, totally. Okay, well, that's great for the viewers. Shout out Check. I'm going to check them out myself. And what also you're hearing today is some of the replicas are a better quality than the real ones.
I've seen some where I'm uncomfortable telling the person it's fake because they're convinced it's real.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is comparing to one that maybe I had one on sneakers, or so I know it's real.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, you almost want to say, look, you're going to get away with that.
Yeah.
But I stick to the honesty, and I think having a good quality fake is obviously rarer than having a bad one. But
yeah, of course.
I think because of the money in the aftermarket, especially, it's more rife, and they're going to spend more money on trying to get them right. The Black Cat 4s, I've probably had maybe 20 pairs in total in. I've sold them quite high, sell them quite quickly, but I've been offered over 50 that are not real. And I would say 49 of those people don't know.
Wow.
So I think it's going to happen every time there is a big shoe. Most of the shoes that will be available in the aftermarket are not real.
Totally. And the problem is the way they're already, like, you know, you look at obviously the next one of the big shoes that's being talked about at the moment, the Travis Fragment Jordan 1, right? You can imagine the fakes already are out now for that, and they're probably looking so good. And it's getting harder and harder for people like yourself, you know, and for obviously people like me, the consumer. You know, it makes it very difficult today.
I think what you've got to do, if you're new to reselling, and obviously you want to really try and get the latest, best stock, when it's too good to be true, it usually is. When someone's saying to you, I can sell it to you half price, or I can sell it to you for retail, generally those are the things, they're the flags. And then what happens if you're inexperienced or you're greedy, you fall for it and try and sell it on,
you get caught.
Just be aware that some of these shoes really are nearly impossible to get.
Yeah, agreed. So, and that's it. You got to, like that, you said, you're right. If it comes down to the price, couldn't agree more. Good. All right. Well, look, that's given us a bit of insight into Crepe Select, which has been amazing. Really good store. When all this stuff is over, we're very itching. I bet you can't wait. Literally a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm obviously excited, but there's going to be economic factors now ongoing over the next maybe couple of years where consumer spending will have to change. Yeah. Unemployment after this furlough kind of thing is going to rise.
An all-time high,
It's not a time to sort of chuck a load of money at stock. No. It's a time of trying to streamline your business. Hopefully, like the shopping centre and the government are going to maintain the help. And I guess just adapt. If I have to adapt my business slightly, I definitely will. So if you already have been affected.
You've already done it over the last year, and you know, thank God, it looks like you've been successful at doing it.
Yeah, but I think you just got to you can't be too stuck on worrying, but you just got to, you just can't, you have to keep going, obviously, but I think it will be like when you're an entrepreneur or a small business, I'm more used to negative.
Of course.
So be ready for maybe another big negative shortly. And go harder or go differently. I mean, it's going to be interesting, and obviously I'm not afraid of putting in the work. That's not the hard bit. But I think it's going to be, it's getting harder to get the shoes in the shop.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, yeah, of course.
So, yeah, the supply chain, I think, will reduce because of like whatever problems worldwide.
Well,
so,
look at even you know, buying stuff abroad in Europe now. We can't do it anymore online. We can't enter the European raffles or the American raffles now because the customs charges and everything at the moment.
Yeah. So again, that will, I guess, reduces the supply, which then increases the price. But then are people going to be willing to keep paying more? Maybe not.
No. Yeah,
so
it'll be interesting to see where it goes. We'll see. But at least getting people back in store, actually, just that kind of vibe back in store would be nice again.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Exciting. Good. So next up, we're here with MY3. Let's see Lawrence's Crepe Select.
One of the shoes. I'm going to move you slightly so I can get
one of the shoes I've already seen, but we can try and edit that out and we'll bring it back in.
It slipped in.
So let's start off. No particular order, just show what you got.
This is definitely my favourite shoe ever.
Oh, is that your own personal shoe? Well,
so we have a 7, 8, and 9 in stock, but the 8.
I'm so happy you didn't say my size.
The 8, every sort of 4 to 6 months, floats back to my house. I've not worn it. It's currently at my house, and for whatever reason, instead of wearing these, I've found myself addicted. I'm addicted to buying the figures.
So what you've spent in figures, you could have bloody bought the shoes.
It just in my head, it makes more sense because you can't wear the figures. So they're on my table, they're still dead stock in my head.
And but also the figures are always investment pieces. If cause carries on going the way it is, they're always going to go up, those figures.
Yeah, I've always said around when these were released, this is how I'd probably get my son his deposit for his first property. But I've held them. I put them above market price on purpose.
Of course.
But it means I've still got them. I've made loads of mistakes in the past where I'll sell a shoe just under market price to get the turnover. I'm not doing it with these.
No, and then a few months later, you realise you made a mistake.
Yeah, which is, I guess, it's a unique and it's a lucky part of the business that you can do that.
Totally.
But yeah, these are.
It's such a special shoe. I've held a few in hand over the years, and they're just incredible. The subtleness.
I did manage to sell. I've managed to get more sizes. I've sold a couple, but it's weird. Even I won't name who bought them, but even the people that did buy them at the time were definitely convinced I was ripping them off. And when I look back to the price they paid, they owe me some money.
I was about to say they're probably thanking you now.
Yeah, but I think at the time, when I think these came out, maybe 2017 or 18, I'll check.
I think it was that.
At that time, it was hard to sell shoes at the high value.
Yeah,
and these are really rare.
Extremely.
I'm not sure.
But even at the time, like, 2017 to whenever they came out, 2016, like they were very hard to get that. Were they even a European release?
Yeah, these came out in Europe, but the black was America only. And I've never managed to get a black pair. If anyone's selling a black pair, it's definitely real. Hit me up.
I prefer the grey to the black anyway.
Yeah, I think I do, but I've not seen the black. I've not held it. I've seen it. I've not held it.
Yeah. Very nice. Very, very strong start. All right, so let's see what's up next, please.
So that's going to be my only kind of Jordan. I do wear Jordans. I don't really wear Jordan 1s, so they won't be in. big part of my journey is designer footwear, and this is my favourite shoe that I wear. I don't have this colour. These are the Dior B22s. They've actually started reselling now, but originally I was just retailing.
Okay. Now that's really interesting you should say that. Sorry to interrupt, because from my little understanding of the high-end footwear, it doesn't really resell that much. Most of it goes on sale, doesn't it?
Yeah, so true. Chanel in men's sizes will always resell because it's a woman's brand and they're very hard to get big sizes.
Yeah.
The Dior is only reselling because I think last year the demand was so big. I think because the demand,
Dior Jordan and a bit of a Dior wave.
Yeah, and I think going forward, I think these will become, retail price has gone up as well. So retail price has gone from 820, they're now 940 retail.
940, fucking hell.
I think these will now sit at retail rather than resell.
Yeah, it's so expensive for a pair of shoes. Because the thing is, don't get me wrong, that is a beautiful shoe, but it looks like a 700.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has that very similar sole unit. But I think what you always have to remember with designer footwear, if retail is 940 and retail is 250, this is a better shoe.
Yeah, in terms of the quality wise, yes.
Yeah, so it's probably made in Italy, or they pretend it's made in Italy. It's a very heavy shoe. It doesn't crease. If you invite me out and it's an evening, I'll wear mine, and I've been out in mine 8 to 10 times and they still look like this.
Yeah, I can imagine. They hold up very well. They last.
And I think a lot of people, especially that shop here, buying a resale shoe that's 500 or a retail shoe that's 500, a lot of people think, well, why would I pay resale for a shoe that's not worth 500?
Yeah, but then is that person a sneakerhead?
No, so that would be a fashion customer.
Yeah, that's the difference. Exactly. Yeah, totally. Of course.
But they both shop here, so
yeah. But I know, and you're 100, and it's great that you've got both sorts of consumers coming into the shop. And I understand, like, from obviously that high-end fashion consumer, they would not want to spend that resale and buy that. But then obviously, to someone like myself, a sneakerhead, I don't know if I'd spend £900 on a shoe altogether, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think it's. I would say I'm maybe more in tune with these guys, because I think if I wouldn't wear these to work, I wouldn't want to mash them up.
Yeah.
Whereas I've got shoes worth this money that are resale, but maybe I got them for retail or early resale.
Yes.
I treat them at that value.
Yeah.
So
you treat them at the retail value.
Yeah, or what I paid. I've got the off-white 97s, and I got them for retail. I won them.
Yeah.
They are battered.
Okay.
And I also wouldn't, if I was going out to, say, a nice restaurant, I wouldn't wear them.
Yeah.
Even though resale on a new pair now
of course. But that's because they're battered, right? And that's a smart shoe to go to a restaurant in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I still...
I get where you're coming from. But, for example, someone like myself, you know... I've got...
Sorry. Sorry.
Guys, remember to the viewers, we are live and direct in Lewisham Shopping Centre today with Crepe Select. So that is why we've got over Tanner announcements.
And there's loads of rules. So
it's all good. Yeah, I mean... But no, sorry, where I was going with it is... you know, I've obviously got some, I was lucky on a lot of raffles, Sean Weatherspoon, several off-whites, which I've worn and I've enjoyed. But obviously I've seen what they've gone up over the time, and I'm now more cautious with that shoe. I don't wear it as much. It stays in its box as much.
Yeah, I mean, once I decide to have a shoe that I'm going to wear, I probably wear them too much. But if I decide there's a shoe I'm going to be gentle with and look after, that shoe stays fresh.
Yeah, I get it.
But I still think for whatever reason, I point it towards designer is more aspirational to me. I'm not sure why. Because that's
fair enough. Yeah, of course. But it's something that, I get it. I understand. But it's that higher end sort of thing, you know, and it's like you work hard to get that sort of thing, you know, they're not cheap products.
Yeah.
Nice, love it, love it. It was good, bit of variation, which is brilliant. This is what MY3 is all about.
Last but not least is something we've always tried to do, but it's never been a financial success, is customizing Air Forces. And this is a very basic but meaningful custom. So these are the Blue Story Air Force One. So we was actually in Blue Story, which was a film by Ratman, which came out maybe last year or a year before. It's a bit of a blur. And we did these for him, for most of the cast. And then also we've done some giveaways. Paramount actually sponsored a giveaway for these. So it's like we was actually allowed sort of by the powers to really push the shoe, even though it was my idea.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And obviously it's not official. Well, it's obviously a Nike Air Force One, but it's not obviously credited by Nike, the collab. Obviously.
No, so I actually did I had to do a little email to someone I won't say. And I did get an email back saying we don't have a problem. We can't support it, but we definitely don't have a problem with it.
Amazing. Brilliant.
So really, really proud of it. Please watch the film if you haven't seen it. There's a scene that's in the store where the information on the shoes is actually wrong because they weren't allowed to show that we was reselling.
Okay, I'm with you.
But it's a really good film, and obviously really proud that we did these. And we do other ones that probably look better.
Yeah,
because
there's got a meaningful story to it.
Yeah.
Totally. Love that. Great. Now, about the customization, you say it's obviously your idea, but in terms of the actual physical customization, is it you or you got a team of people to do it?
I've got an artist called Nancy, she does our trainer cleaning, trainer refurb, trainer mending and customization. Really talented artist.
Fantastic.
She's been on the circuit. She's worked at Offspring, Office, and I think when she lets loose on a shoe, sick. But I find in London especially, the youngsters.
Lawrence, you just want to move your head a bit into the screen a little bit more.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I find it's quite difficult to convert. If a custom's sitting on the side, people don't care because it's not their story. I did a pop-up shop in Birmingham. The first one was around 3 years ago. Every other kid's wearing a custom. When we had a little display of customs, there was so much interest, leads from it. It's just different to London. London's not that into it, but in Birmingham, it's massive. It's
still today.
Yeah. Custom massive. Shoes there is as common as a white Air Forces here.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel customization has had a bit of a circle because I remember going back 15, 20 years ago, you know, customization, especially in London, you know, you'd get them on the market stalls. There'd always be the graffiti artist. It was a white or black Air Force One, graffiti, and you would always have your name or something on the side of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, that was the start of that kind of customization. Now, obviously, it's kind of all going to hold full circle.
Yeah, and I think I always think it's going to like really pop off here, and it never really does. But people are aware that we do it, which is I guess part of the problem is people don't know if you can do it. It's not even that expensive. It's cheaper than buying Travis Scott Air Forces. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, exactly.
But yeah, it's really weird that the London part of it it's not important. But what I've seen in Birmingham is so important.
That's amazing. Literally an hour and a half up the road, and it's all different.
Yeah.
And
hopefully I'll be back there soon. I do a pop up there every few months. I'm planning my next one at the moment, so I'll be there soon again.
Amazing. Look, I think that's it. I think that wraps everything up. Is there anything else you want to show in your store to the viewers when they can come back in, get down to Lewisham, and anything exciting, anything a little bit that they're waiting for?
I've got mine. I've got most of the best shoes ever are here, but in limited quantities. I've got the Sean Weatherspoons. I've got the Dior Jordans. I've got Dunks. I don't like Dunks at all.
I can see you've got some Union 4s there in the background.
Yeah, we've got some good bits.
Down the bottom, yeah.
Obviously, we've got loads of mids, which I wouldn't buy. I tell people they're only mids.
If you're an influencer.
But they still sell probably quicker than other shoes because they're cheaper. Not because they're better.
But let's be honest, I believe the mid is on a wave, and it's just that influencer wave, right? You know, these models on Instagram, and they've all got a pair of mids on, so then every girl out there wants a pair of mids. Yeah. No, I'm not saying everyone, but you know what I mean. Like, people who aren't so much into their kicks, you know, they see on Instagram the mids, and that's what they want. Yeah.
I mean, some people still say, "Oh, I don't like highs or lows. I only wear mids." And I say to her, "Why is that?" I said, "Oh, the highs are too high and the lows are too low." Like, I don't know about that.
Oh God. Love it. Brilliant. All right, well, listen, when we're finished, when we get back to normal, I'd love to come down actually, and we'll do a little in-store actual live with me and you there. That would be good, and we can do another MY3, see what heat you've got. Thank you very much. Before I do an outro, why don't you tell the viewers where they can find you exactly, your address, in Lewisham Shopping Centre, and tell them obviously Instagram handles, website, all the details, please.
So it's Unit 29, Lewisham Shopping Centre, which is SE13 7EP. The Instagram's at Crepe Select. The Snapchat, which is always been a big part of my business, which is at Crepe Select again. Our website, crepeselect.co.uk. The new website actually has now nearly 90% to 95% of my products on there, which wasn't what was going on before. You could do a search for size. So if you type in UK 5 at the top, it will show you what UK 5s we've got. We accept Klarna, ClearPay. I accept Bitcoin. So I'm doing everything.
You heard the man. You know where to go. Crepe Select is the place. Go check them out. Lawrence, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you for giving us your time this morning. Happy Easter to you. Yeah, happy Easter to all of our followers. Have a good weekend. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, turn your notifications on. We will be back with another episode of MY3 very shortly. I think that's it for now.
Thanks, guys.